Hello everybody, welcome back to Stay with Al. Apologies that it's been a while again, just obviously it seems to be the way things are at the minute. However, I am in a position where I have finally finished my layout in terms of laying it and wiring it, and I've done a brief test last night just to check obviously all the electrical connections are correct and general running, just to make sure everything was okay. Other than a couple of very minor teething issues, I'm really pleased to report everything's okay. Obviously I sort of alluded to previously that I'd finished, but I wasn't happy with the fiddle yard, so I pretty much redesigned that and also redesigned the main part on the main layout as well. So what I'll do at this point is probably insert a load of pictures from before I did the change so you can see what it was, and then I will spin you around. Thanks. Hello everybody, welcome back. So hopefully you've seen the pictures from before now, and what I will do is I will start at this end of the fiddle yard where the bridge is, and I will take you around the layout. So all of this bit has stayed the same, obviously the two lines coming into one. This is where the scenic break will be going on to the scenic part of the layout. And here is the points for the station throat. So this is all the same, comes all the way round. Obviously this is the first join in the board. Obviously excuse the debris behind, obviously I'm just still in the process of tidying up. Time again is running out, so I'm just trying to get this done. And this is where you'll notice the change to the layout, because previously obviously the goods area is all the same still and is in the same setup, so that's the same, but you'll notice here I've put this point in. So previously the line here at this second platform just used to go round and meet in. However, due to the changes in the fiddle yard, I've decided that I wanted a second route in as well. So this side it's actually going to be a sort of two-track setup coming in, and then obviously at the far end there it goes down to a single line. So I thought it's just a bit more extra variety as well. Double track one end coming into a single track at the other. So would sort of give the idea of one of those sort of semi-intermediate rural sort of branch stations that there probably was on the S&D generally. Like I say, I'm not religiously basing it on that, but that's the sort of area, sort of more towards the Dorset area. That's where a lot of my previous connections are from. So there was obviously parts on that line where it was double track and single track, so I'm sort of replicating that here. But as you'll probably remember, and especially from the pictures I showed you initially, this line has moved out slightly, because the old line used to come round there, and you can see the holes there which I'll fill in at some point, because that line used to run to about there, so you can see it's moved back ever so slightly. However, this is the join again. This is where the second scenic break will be, and then we enter the fiddle yard. So basically you used to come in here and there used to be a three-way point. Two reasons for the three-way point being removed. One is because of the amount of locomotives that kept stalling on it. I know there is things that you can put in place to wire up and help that. However, I've not got that level of experience, so I've decided against it. And secondly, what I'd actually found where I had the three-way point is this outer siding that I've got here still wasn't big enough to fit my 4-coach train and a loco in, which is obviously one of the main aims of the fiddle yard. So that was a bigger predominant reason for removing them, to buy myself some extra space and put a shorter point set in. So I should at least have one side in which is going to be suitable to store a 4-coach train and a engine. Then obviously from this side you've got a second storage lane here, and then in reality this one here is probably going to be the general run round loop for this line. As you can see from the point work which I've just set up, it is actually set to run through that Y point up and back out onto the layout. So that's probably going to be the relief road for that side, and these two will be storage for trains obviously not required on the layout at that particular time. And then again when you come around this side we've got this one, and again this is going to be the longest siding in terms of storing a train, and this one is going to be probably the run round loop for this way. The one little teething issue I have got to try and figure out is my 060 56XX kept sort of derailing itself there, so I might just have to jiggle and fiddle with the alignment slightly to erode that, but I don't know why, because ultimately these are set track points, set track curves, so it shouldn't really be happening. And then you'll see on here I've also got this point that comes off here, so this line at the front here, what I'm actually using sort of all of this and that for is going to be sort of stabling hopefully locomotives that obviously again aren't required at that point, that might want to be interchanged. So the whole idea of the fiddle yard was hopefully when doing future YouTube videos and just general use of the layout. Currently all of my stock, if you bear with the twisting around, is stored in all of these really useful boxes. And the previous layouts which I'd done where I'd had a station this side and a station that side was great in the scenic side, but obviously meant I didn't really have any location to store any trains that maybe wasn't used or required, and it sort of meant that I had to keep stopping and starting and taking this set off and put that set on when I wanted a different train. So again, this is part of the other reason for the rebuild of the rebuild, which is probably the rebuild of the rebuild. And again, some of the battles I've got with the space available in this room, I really have toyed with a lot of different ideas now, and I really do believe this is going to be the best available option with my current abilities. So that's what I've been up to. This is where we are. Oh, and in case you're just wondering, I've forgot to mention on this Y point, which is obviously part of the relief road for that one, if you go this side it could either be a general storage, but ultimately what it's going to be, if you can see there, I've double insulated it. I'm going to actually designate this as my programming track, so that obviously I've got a dedicated programming track on the layout, because I have got a MDF board tucked away, but it's quite awkward to keep getting that out and off and on, and with space. So predominantly I've got that as a programming track, so I don't have to keep taking locos on and off the layout again. So that's where I'm up to. Thanks for your patience, thanks for the new subscribers, and thanks for the comments. I really appreciate it, and next time I absolutely promise you will have some trains running. So thanks for sticking by me. See you again soon. Thanks, take care, bye.